Hi, and welcome to the Day Trading for Beginners podcast. This is season 3, episode 5. And in this special episode, I'm going to reveal my real money trading challenge. So can I earn profits in this wild market? So my name is Tyler Stokes from StokesTrades.com. I am on a journey to become a full-time trader. And in this podcast, I want to talk about the real money challenge that I have set up for myself. So if you're new to the podcast, below in the show notes, you can find my 6-month blueprint that has outlined everything that I've done in the first 6 months of my journey becoming a full-time trader or day trader. And you'll also find a link to our Skool group. And in the future, I'm going to share every trade that I make with some analysis in our Skool group. So if you'd like to follow along with this challenge, then below, you can find a link to our Skool group. It is absolutely free. And in that Skool group, I will be giving updates about this challenge. So yes, I've decided to trade real money, and I'm planning to document every step of the journey. So this is how it's going to go down. But first, I want to just share a warning. This is not financial advice. So let's be crystal clear. I'm a beginner trader, sharing my journey. I'm not a financial advisor. This challenge is me testing my strategy with real money, but it's not a recommendation for you to copy any of my trades. So I'm not telling anyone to jump in and trade alongside me. What I do might work for me or it might not, but your situation is different. Do your own research, make your own calls. This is about transparency and also about keeping myself accountable and disciplined and about learning along the way. So it's certainly not financial advice. So here is the plan. So starting April 7th, I'm putting real money on the line, and I will be trading it using the market symmetry strategy that I have been studying. I've been discussing on this podcast, which has been inspired by the great Matsby. So in previous podcast episodes and in our Skool group, you can find more information about this specific strategy. In next week's podcast, I also plan to talk more about a momentum style of strategy and discuss more details about how that strategy works. So every trade that I make, the entries, the exits, wins and losses, I'm going to post in our Skool group. So again, consider joining if you would like to sort of follow along. If that is something that interests you, I'm going to explain why I got into trades, what the charts told me, how it played out. So 100% transparency with this training journal. So you can see some good trades and maybe, some potentially bad ones as well. Now, this isn't live in the sense that I'm not going to be live streaming every move, but I will do my best to sort of keep the updates coming. So you can think of it more of like a trading diary. I'm going to record my setups, share some thoughts, and make updates as regularly as I can. Now, do keep in mind, this isn't a day trading strategy, so I won't be trading daily or even weekly sometimes. Unfortunately, I've mentioned a few times my current schedule just doesn't allow me to trade and watch the market at specific times every single day. So that is why I've been leaning on this market symmetry strategy, more of a momentum type of strategy that has been working for me. And now I'm going to put some real money on the line. Now, there is a bit of a fun twist with this, and that is, can I beat Tesla? So I'm sort of setting a loose challenge for myself. Can I trade and be more profitable than just holding Tesla stock until the end of the year? And full disclosure, I actually sold some Tesla stock earlier to actually end up funding this challenge. So I took profits earlier in the year just to raise some cash. And now I'm deciding to use these funds for this challenge. So it isn't sort of a random benchmark. I did make a sale there. Now, personally, I hold a lot of Tesla stock. That's my largest position, but I wanted to raise some cash, and it turns out it could have been a good move considering the market right now, but it's going to be a fun kind of challenge. Did I make a mistake selling those shares, or can I beat Tesla's performance by trading a strategy until the end of the year? So that's what we're going to try and find out. On a personal note, I think Tesla is going to do great. I don't think I'm going to be able to beat Tesla by the end of the year. I think later this summer and into sort of the end Q3 and Q4, I think Tesla's stock is going to do really, really well. That's not financial advice. That is just my opinion. However, I wanted to raise some cash, and, in this challenge, I can certainly rebuy some Tesla stock as well. And, I would have made money because it is certainly lower than it is when I sold it. So that's just a fun sort of benchmark that I'm going to kind of follow along and see what happens. But the reason I'm kind of doing this challenge right now is that it might be the perfect time given what is going on in the market. So I sold, took some profits, was able to raise cash. It turned out to be a good move considering where the market is right now in April 2025. It might be a sweet spot to kick off this challenge. The market's been down, as we all know. There's been some wild volatility. There's tariff announcements. Everyone is on edge. There's a ton of fear. And there's probably, other things in the mix too. But the point is, prices are much, much lower than they have been over the last few months. There's a lot of fear out there. And for a momentum trader or just an investor with cash on the sidelines, that's not always a bad thing. It can be a really good opportunity. So things are going down, but there's always that final destination. And I believe, I have conviction that, we're going to find a bottom eventually, and then we're going to rise up out of this. So that's my personal opinion. And that could be a good opportunity to accumulate shares, to buy some low support levels and earn some good gains potentially later on into this year. So when the market gets nervous, many stocks get hit. We've seen that. But like I said, buyers are going to eventually step in. So my plan here is to buy there when prices are cheaper, when the market structure still looks bullish, and potentially I'll look to take profits later in the year or just hold some of these positions for a longer period. So right now, again, prices are down. I might be able to take advantage of this market, but I am going to be very conservative. This week could be another down week. It's going to be a lot of volatility. So I am going to do my best to be safe, but I think it could be a good opportunity. So the other reason why I'm doing this and sharing this challenge is for discipline. So I have this strategy that I've been using. There's some rules to follow, but as a beginner trader, and maybe you've been trading a little bit as well, sticking to your strategy when real money is on the line, I think is probably one of the hardest things for traders to do. So knowing that I have to explain every trade, I think it's going to keep me honest. It's going to allow me to avoid chasing, no more FOMO buys, and just stick to the plan. So if I have to, make my trades public and share them, then I think I'm going to be less likely to stray, and I'm going to stick to my plan and stay more disciplined because I know I have to tell you, hey, I did this trade and I shouldn't have. I think that'll help me avoid that. I'm hoping that it does. Part of me just wants to do this private, but I think this is going to be beneficial for me. And that's why I'm doing it. Now, I do think that, also sharing this could be a good teaching moment for other people watching it. If you're a beginner trader listening to this, you might be able to get some value from watching some of these trades. And you might be inspired to maybe, do something similar that might work out for you. Sharing your journey, sharing your trades and explaining them in our Skool group might help you stay accountable and help you stay disciplined to the strategy that you might be following. Now, full disclosure, where do I get my trading ideas from? Well, not every trade is going to be at 100% my original idea. I am certainly learning as well. I am a beginner, so I'm going to lean on the analysis from other traders that I've been following, like the great Matsby and other sort of online contributors, to help shape some of my setups. Obviously, it's my money and I'm going to make the final trade, so I am responsible and I can take credit for these trades as well. And I'm going to break down my reasoning, but I'm certainly, not going to pretend that I'm figuring all this stuff out alone. So my strategy here, and you can learn more about it in some of the posts that we have on the Skool group. And next week, I do plan to talk more about what a momentum kind of strategy is. But here, I'll just briefly talk about some 5 core rules that I plan to be following. And then we'll talk about what you can expect from updates with this challenge. So firstly, the first rule, just stick to the strategy. So the hardest part of any strategy, in my opinion, as a beginner and where I'm at in my journey, is just sticking with it, especially when you're trading real money. So I got to just stick to the rules. So never chase price. So for this momentum and market symmetry strategy, I only want to buy at support. I never want to chase the price. Let the price sort of come to me. And that's going to help me avoid over trading. So there's going to be many opportunities out there. If I miss one, I have to let that go and avoid FOMO, avoid the fear of missing out when something pops and I haven't, bought at support. I don't chase. That's not part of the strategy. Limiting my position size. So there's going to be a maximum allocation in the portfolio per position of 10% of the funds that I'm starting with. So no stock can be more than 10%, but I'm not going to trim. So if that stock rises in value, I'm not going to do any trimming, but the initial buys cannot be more than 10%. And my entry positions should be 1 to 3% when volatility, or I may have lower conviction of a support zone. So if I have a fund that's starting with, for just example purposes, if it's $10,000, then my entries would be $100 to $300. Or if it was $50,000, then my entry positions to start would be $500 or $1,500 with a max of $5,000 associated with one particular position. Buy at support, sell at resistance. That's like the theme of this strategy. So I want to avoid buying in ranges. So I got to wait for clear support or resistance. So when price is in a range and you buy that, then the volatility can potentially work against us. So only buy at support. And if you follow along, I'm going to hopefully explain some of my trades and my reasoning, and that's going to help explain a little bit of the strategy in more detail. And then lastly, staying uncomfortable, being prepared to buy when the price feels low or difficult, as this can be when the best opportunities are available. So it can be very difficult to think about putting your money in the market right now when everything is down. But like I mentioned, there is going to be a final destination for a lot of these stocks. Nothing goes down forever. I believe that some of them we're going to hit a bottom soon and eventually recover. Who knows how long that will take? But I believe that there are going to be some good opportunities. And this strategy requires you to buy at support, which doesn't feel comfortable when things are dropping. Everyone wants to buy when the green days, when they pop 5% and you want to jump on that train. That's not what this strategy calls for. This strategy focuses on buying more on red days, more on support areas. And that's what I'm going to stick to. So what to expect? For every trade, I'm going to do my best to share, firstly, just a written description in the Skool group. I'm going to have a section there where I'm going to share all my trades. Potentially, I might be able to do some short video explanations as well when I have time, but certainly a written breakdown and a screenshot of my entry, exits, profits or losses for every trade. So I'm going to be fully transparent with everything I'm doing. I've got my money in my brokerage ready to go. The timeline here. So we're going to kick this off on April 7th, 2025. Now, full disclosure, April 4th on Friday, I did make one trade right at the close that I will explain in this first week. But officially, April 7th, the Monday is when we're going to kick off everything. And we're going to wrap it up on December 31st, 2025. So on that last day, I'll check what my fund is worth after trading and then compare it to the value of the fund, what it would have been if I just held Tesla stock from the price of April 7th. So it's going to be kind of a fun comparison there. So the pace, again, this isn't day trading. I'll hold trades probably for days, weeks, or maybe not sell anything if I buy some low support zones in the coming weeks. And if the trend is strong, patience is really a big part of this strategy, and accumulating shares for wealth generation is kind of what this strategy really, the main goal is for this particular one. And again, updates, I'm going to post each trade and I'll do probably portfolio check-ins maybe once a month, but I'm going to do my best to keep updates coming when I do make trades. Now, these expectations are subject to change. I've got a very busy schedule, but I'll do my best to keep the updates coming that are appropriate. So if you'd like to join, if you'd like to kind of just follow along, certainly come join our Skool group. It is free. If you are still a beginner and you haven't really got started with your journey yet, you can download my 6-month blueprint. That is free. That outlines everything that I've done in the first 6 months and helped me kind of lead to finding a strategy. And now I'm trading real money. So the first trades are coming later this week. I'll explain the trade that I took last Friday. And if I take trades this week, I'll certainly do my best to update those by the end of the week. So big question, can I grow this account better than just holding Tesla stock till the end of the year? We will find out. I have a hunch that Tesla's going to do really well. I don't think I'll beat it, but that's okay. I can buy some Tesla stock in this fund. And on a personal note, I do hold more Tesla stock in my other account. So thanks so much for listening. Check all the links below in the show notes. And I look forward to updating you on this challenge. And next week, I plan to release the Momentum Strategy podcast that's going to discuss a little bit more about what this strategy entails. So thanks for listening, and I will talk to you in the the next one.